Hi everyone, as some of you might already know, my YouTube channel is mostly about my electric DFXL Velomobile. In this video I talk about whether this was the best Velomobile I could have bought, and let you know what I love about it and what I don't like about my Velomobile. I also talk a bit about racing other cyclists, make some comparisons between Velomobiles, bicycles, electric Velomobiles and e-bikes. But before I do any of that, I want to quickly talk about why I chose to buy a Velomobile. Before I knew that Velomobiles even existed, I used to ride an upright bike, although I never owned an e-bike. At one stage I got badly ill and I was told that biking in the rain and other bad weather was making my health even worse. Then one day the bicycle I had owned and used for many years was stolen, and I was left with just walking and public transport. And that became my cue for looking for an alternative form of transport. At first I googled things like waterproof bicycle, car bike, bicycle roof, all-weather bicycle, pedal car and human-powered vehicle. At times I would see pictures and video suggestions of things called Velomobiles, and some of them looked like they could meet my needs.
The benefits I thought I would get out of a Velomobile were things like being able to ride as fast as a car in town, or being able to stay dry while riding, being faster than a bicycle, and having a little bit of protection in the event of an accident. I could also see it giving me some personal benefits like keeping me fit and active, something fun to play with on the weekend, and I could jam it full of stuff like you can in a car boot.
And I thought it would be a great conversation starter. I tend to be a little bit apprehensive at approaching people and initiating a conversation, but this was a way to overcome a bit of that fear, as I've been in conversations many times since purchasing the Velomobile. The Velomobile could even help just the tiniest little bit at reducing air pollution because it's 100% green. I considered my needs and priorities very carefully, and I decided that I wanted at least the following in a Velomobile. I wanted to be able to use it instead of a car, and I wanted to stay dry but still be able to ride. I wanted to be able to take along a day bag and a basketball. It needed to be skinny enough to fit on the bike lanes here in Auckland, and it needed to look cool, which I know is in the eye of the beholder, and it would have been great if it was also fast. Ideally, I wanted to have a Velomobile that had an electric motor that could recharge when going downhill and had solar panels that could recharge the battery. My top 10 Velomobiles were as follows. Number 1, the Go1 Evolution. Number 2, the Orca, or the Versatile. Number 3, the DFXL. And number 4, the Mango Sport version. Number 5 was the Wow. Number 6, the Liber Cargo. Number 7, the Strada. Number 8, the Quest. Number 9, the Velotilt, and number 10, the Tero Velo. At first my favourite Velomobile was the Go1 Evolution, which was fully covered, fast, had a reasonable storage space and seemed like the kind of bike I was looking for. Unfortunately, this model was no longer being built and the manufacturer, Base, had moved on to making the Go1 Evo K. After looking at many different options, I decided on buying the DFXL, a bigger version of the DF, because I wanted to add an electric assist to it. When it arrived in New Zealand, I rode it around the streets of Auckland as a pure human-powered vehicle. Then after a few months, the electric assist was added and my Velomobile became a hybrid vehicle. Basically an e-bike or an e-Velomobile, classed as a bicycle in New Zealand. I have had my Velomobile now for about 4 years and have ridden it nearly 16,000 kilometers, which is nothing compared to what other Velonauts have done in theirs over the same period. During that time, it has become my opinion that I generally ride much faster than any other cyclist riding road legal bicycles. I think that if I rode a normal e-bike, my common 100-kilometer weekend commute, I would be much slower at getting to my destination and would probably not be able to take as much stuff along either. It may even be possible that I have the fastest bicycle in Auckland, New Zealand that is actually permitted to ride on the road. I have seen some cyclists pass me when I've been riding fast, but often this is because they do not obey the traffic laws. They go through red lights, don't stop at stop signs, don't give way at give way signs, ride on the footpath when it suits them, and break the speed limit when they're in 30 or 50 km/h zones. I have listened to many drivers about what they hate about cyclists, and the main other grievance that they have is that groups often ride two abreast and won't go to single file when being followed by a car wanting to pass. It's not all doom and gloom though, in fact it's mostly positive. When I'm riding my Velomobile, I often have drivers and passengers in cars, trucks, buses and so forth giving me friendly honks with their horns or wanting to have a short conversation at traffic lights. I also like the fact that I can do most of my repairs and don't need special expensive equipment to do my maintenance. But I don't like the turning circle and wish I could make tighter turns in it and have the ability to reverse by pedaling. Sometimes I don't like the road clearance. I sometimes scratch the bottom of the Velomobile when I'm going from the road onto bike paths. But I love that I don't get stuck in traffic jams and can usually pass cars when they're coming to a set of traffic lights. I also love the comfort of riding whilst sitting relaxed in a seat as opposed to uncomfortable on a saddle. I don't like that I can't hop on and off the footpath when cars are coming too close for my liking, which is where a mountain bike is much better. I feel bad for the cyclists that get stuck in the rain, and I love that even if I didn't bring my racing hood, which makes the Velomobile almost completely dry on the inside, I still stay mostly dry and definitely stay warm because I don't get the wind chill at all. At first I was uneasy about sitting so low while riding, but now I don't even give it a second thought, except if I'm at an intersection where a car pulls up next to me, because then I can't see if the road is safe to enter. I guess it's the same can be said if a truck or a van pulls up next to a car. And lately I've even found places in the city where I can charge my batteries from power supplied by solar panels. Now that's a bonus. There's so much more I could talk about, and some of it I may have already discussed at some stage in one of my other videos. I don't really keep track of it all, because I've made over 50 of them now. I try to answer all the questions that I get about my experience with a hybrid Velomobile using my videos, and value the comments from other Velonauts and cyclists. If any of you have questions about Velomobiles, it may be interesting to have a look at my other videos too.
I try to answer all the questions that get given to me, like on comments on my YouTube channel. And what I find is I actually quite value the comments from cyclists and other Velonauts, because I learn from them as well. In fact, I try to reply to everything, even in Dutch as of lately, which is actually quite difficult for me. Hey, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And in the similar words of Scott Manley, I'm Marnix Moyman. Ride safe.